Welcome to Build Your Dream Business, brought to you by Solo. More than just a booking app, we're a community for independent pros in hair, beauty and wellness. I'm Katrina, here to bring you closer to real stories of success from the industry's finest and share practical advice to help your business flourish. In today's episode, Belinda Price shares her extensive journey in the nail industry, from nail technician to education and capability manager at OPI. Belinda shares valuable insights on retail strategies and discusses the importance of building brand trust and understanding product allergies, as well as sharing tips for aspiring educators. Hey, Belinda, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, nice to see you.
So nice to see you. So glad to have you here with us to share your wisdom. Why don't you kick off and tell us all about how you got into the wonderful world of nails and your current role?
So I have been in nails really for most of my career. There are times that I've just done a little bit of something else on the side, but predominantly been a nail technician from being 16, really. I'd done a course and was doing other things at college, but it took me to being sort of 18 or 19 to really go down that route solidly. So for me, it's a career that spans more than 30 years so far. It's been so diverse. It was so different back in the 90s when I was training as well. So as we've headed through that career, I've experienced so many things, from renting a chair in a hair salon to doing mobile or freelance work, to then opening my own very small salon, to opening my own very big salon. I had a 2,800 square feet salon for a while with 14 nail techs working for me. I've educated for a couple of companies along the way, but predominantly worked with OPI and worked with OPI in the salon. So for me, about 7 years ago, I got an opportunity to go back to OPI for a second stint, but this time full-time employed, whereas before I'd actually been a freelance educator for them, which is very common in the nail industry. So for me, based in the North, full-time employed roles don't come up. So I jumped at the chance. Over that time, I've progressed and just kept taking little bits of responsibility on, a little bit more work. And I'm now education and capability manager for OPI. I manage a team of 24 educators. 20 of those are freelance, 4, including myself, are full-time. Keeps me very busy. And I do still have my salon as well.
Do you? I didn't know that. That's incredible.
I'm very fortunate. 2 of my daughters are full-time nail techs working in the industry, and they actually run my salon for me. All 4 girls have actually trained as nail techs over the time. But yeah, 2 of them are in the industry, and the other 2 they're all in like art and design type of fields, but 2 of them have gone down different routes after uni.
What an incredible career. I mean, as you say, things must have changed a lot since the 90s when you first started. What are the kind of biggest changes that you've seen? What are the biggest changes that jump out to you?
I think the thing that shocks most people is that when I started, you typically didn't see gel for nails at all. I actually remember seeing the first gel lamp that I ever saw. I knew nothing about it. You know, I was a silk wrap nail tech. I'm from Sheffield, and silk wraps were huge there. So similar to fiberglass, if any of you have trained in that. And continued to be a silk wrap nail tech for many, many years. And it was something in the end for me that was my point of difference. In fact, I love doing a liquid and powder acrylic. I was fortunate enough to be doing some this week. I really enjoy a hard gel. But for me and my business as a salon owner, gel just changed everything. All of a sudden, lacquer is not the thing that's on the shelf all the time. My salon back pre-2010, when gel really was launched as a gel polish, would sell hundreds of nail polishes a year. So from a retail perspective, that's completely changed because clients don't wear that anymore. So for me, the biggest change has been gel. And then, of course, the number of people that get their nails done. You only have to go out and look around and everybody has their nails done, and it didn't used to be like that. So it was hard to make a full-time job out of.
Of course. And I mean, the time-saving aspect of gel coming in.
Absolutely. But again, with my salon owner hat on, my clients used to have a lacquer manicure every week. So instead of having 3 or 4 appointments a month, they're suddenly having 1. So much as it's been fabulous, it's been very, very industry changing and business changing because they're coming in less frequently as well. So price point had to go up. And that's something that some people struggle with. You know, they don't necessarily see that the price point should be that much higher, but the frequency of appointment is lower, so it has to be. So it really was game changing in every way, because it looks beautiful and clients love it and techs love it, and we want to learn to do more things with it. But then we have to consider, oh gosh, they're not going to come as often. How do we change that? And how do we build that into our business? Or are there those clients that actually lacquer's still right for them? Because there are some fabulous long wear lacquers. So yeah, lots to it. And I'm not that person that's just like, oh yeah, gel's great. I want to look at all of it. I want to see what works best when we do a promotion, what's going to be best. So yeah, it just all still excites me and intrigues me.
That's super interesting. You know, I never thought of the retail aspect of it and being able to upsell polishes in between treatments, which is obviously something that, people don't really buy as much anymore. What do you find that people retail now? You know, if people are looking to add retail to their business.
I think the top retail will always be cuticle oil. It's so important that people are using it. And if nail techs aren't selling it, I really feel like they're missing a trick. I use an example for retail. Nail techs don't like to retail. They don't want to talk about retail. They think that they're being pushy. They think that it's not the right choice for them. And I don't really see it as retailing. I see it as recommending. I see it as part of the service. And I say to nail techs, imagine going to the doctors and telling the doctors all your symptoms, and you tell him whatever your symptoms are. And then at the end of the appointment, the doctor says, oh, thanks, Belinda. See you in 3 weeks. Bye. And they don't write you a prescription and they don't recommend anything. And you'd think, well, what a waste of time. I came for help. So for me, it's really important that when you get those signals, you really pick up on them. Oh, you're struggling with dry skin on your feet. Well, you're here today for a manicure, but I've got an amazing foot cream. If I book you in for a pedicure, we could talk about it a little bit more and I could have a look at what would be right for you. But for now, if you take this foot cream, it'll be a start. So we just have to pick up on the signals. But yeah, oil always. Nail strengthener. OPI do something called repair mode, which is a protein-based product. It contains keratin and it absorbs into the nail. There's no light or heat required. It will just absorb in and give up to 99% keratin repair. So for me, that's a game changer for anyone with weak nails and something quite unique in the industry. So that's something I would always recommend for your retail. But yeah, lots of hydration, lots of oil, really important.
That's such a good point. You know, customers come to you as an expert, and providing that expertise doesn't just mean providing treatment. It can also mean providing recommendations, and you're earning from it, but you are the expert. How do you recommend professionals position themselves as experts in, you know, whether that's on their websites or social media? Because that's obviously something that then helps them upsell.
I think on social media, you can start to give away some of those hints and tips. You can start to show not just images of beautifully painted nails, but images of putting oil on, images of using a hand cream, images of using an exfoliator, little reminders. Gardening season, don't forget to apply your oil, don't forget your hand cream. Christmas gifts, it's huge for Christmas gifting. Who doesn't use hand cream? Who doesn't need a hand cream? So it's a really lovely gift. So all those little reminders on your social, I think, and giving away just a few hints and tips to your clients. And then I would say just making sure that when you have that appointment, it doesn't all have to be, what did you do last week? Where did you go at the weekend? Where are you going on holiday? We can make it more about the treatment in the way that you would do a facial, for example. And I know not all nail techs are beauty therapists, but many are. And in the way you'd do a facial, you'd have a consultation. You'd consider if they've got oily skin. You'd consider if they've got dry skin. And you would start to make your recommendations based on their skin type or the nail type, and really talk to them about what will work for them. Keep communicating as they come back. You know, how was that? How did you find that? Did it feel better? And remember as well, when we're retailing, that sometimes people are put off by the size of the product. Have you got it in a smaller size, a bigger size? Have you got it in a test size, a travel size? So there are also additional things. Being very prescriptive. I would say, is so important. One spa I visit, their retail fascinates me. People literally walk around with a piece of paper that their therapist's given them and just walk straight to the retail shop and buy it, because they just take that information and recommendation from those therapists as being, well, I need this, I'm going to buy it. And we can literally double our turnover, which who doesn't want to do that?
I guess it helps massively with client retention as well, putting them on that journey rather than it just being a standalone treatment.
Of course, they start to trust you. They start to see results. When you get something new in, they know they can trust you because they loved the last product. So I think that it really helps with client retention and building the relationship as well. Ultimately, there aren't many clients that come just to sit and get their nails painted. They've come because they've got dry nails and they can't make them look nice, or they keep getting chipping and the product doesn't last. If they could do it themselves, they would. So they definitely need help. And I think we have to not be afraid to give it.
That's why you go to an expert, because, technically you could do it yourself, but you want something more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the more we can give them, as you say, they'll become loyal, they trust you, and they keep coming back then.
Do you have any tips for getting those clients in the first place? For somebody that's just starting out as a nail tech, what do you think is the best way to get the first clients through the door?
Going back to when I opened my first salon many years ago, I actually did buy one, get one free on manicures. And the thing that really shouted at me about that particular promotion was someone can come once and try it for a cheap manicure. Let's say I'd done half price, but they might never come again. I suppose I was confident in the fact that once they'd been through the door twice, they'd be so impressed with the results that they would come back and keep coming back. And we've still got, the salon's 23 years old, we've still got clients that walk through the door that first week coming into the salon now. So getting them and retaining them, and the retention's a huge thing as well. Other things that will get them, word of mouth has been by far the best thing for me. We have advertised, we have done bring a friend, we've done things like that, but actually you cannot beat word of mouth. And we all know there are many different types of clients, and you get those fabulous clients, don't you? They're probably only 10% of your client base, but the fabulous clients, you want their fabulous friends, don't you? Whether it be that they always are reliable, that they always have an appointment every 3 weeks, that they never swap their appointment. Groups of friends tend to be very similar. And what we find is that those clients that might be the big spenders, happy to buy, happy to have everything done, we do brows and things as well. So they'll have toes, hands, brows. They might book a facial, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And you end up at a point where you could just have a couple of clients a day. So if you're freelance, that's less travel. It just makes your day so much easier. So certainly trying to grow that particular aspect of those really wonderful clients that will stay with you for years and years. Big tippers as well. We love those, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's increase the big tippers and get them to bring their friends as well. So I would say that it's been very organic for us, but things like that initial promotion really, really triggered that first influx through the door. Again, remember, it was a different time. Social media, Facebook did not exist when I started my salon. It wasn't a thing. So life was very different. Yellow pages, newspaper ads, we did things like that. We did lots of charity things as well. So we were constantly in the press because we had done something for Children in Need Day or whatever it was. So yeah, as much visibility as you can get and lots of networking.
That buy one, get one free offer is actually genius. You're making someone sticky, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to not come in for their second appointment unless, it's a terrible job, which it won't be. So it's like that stickiness, absolutely brilliant, because, a lot of people might do like a 50% off. You're spending the exact same amount of money on that treatment. You're giving them the same offer, but the way you're presenting it is like such a change in your customers' behaviour.
Exactly. What we do now, we do it slightly different now. So if we are putting a promotion on nails now, it tends to be free toes. So again, it's 2 appointments, they come for longer, but it tends to be free toes now if we do anything. And we'll really promote that during the off season for pedis, for example. We would never promote it in the on season, but that is how, if we've got a new team member, we will fill them up. And again, then it's about retention. So I'm not all about bums on seats. I'm on about getting them back. And that's where the buy one, get one free money, it got them back in. And we just have to really think about not just filling that day, but filling in 3 weeks' time. And I would say that to anyone, whether you're freelance, whether you're renting a chair in a salon, it's not just about today. It's not just about getting through today's column. It's about making sure that next month's column's full.
How do people get their ideal client through the door, and how do they establish who their ideal client is in the first place?
I think you have to think about your location first and foremost. You also have to think about the type of service you're offering. There are many, many people that are happy to offer a service that's very, very affordable. There may then be another nail tech that would not ever go out to do a set of nails for the price that other tech is happy with. So do you want to be the nail tech that has to do 10 sets of gels a day to turn over your money, or do you want to be the nail tech that has to do 5 sets of nails a day to turn over your money? That's your first decision. From there, really, your customer profiles are going to be quite different. What we have noticed or seen, there are people that just want cheap nails all the time. They don't necessarily care about the quality, but there are other people that really, they only want to come once every 3 weeks. They don't want to be looking at repairs. They don't want to be patching them up at home themselves. They want to know that they're getting a great set of nails and they'll last. Even down to the type of conversation you have with those type of clients. They don't necessarily want to be having the local gossipy chit-chatty type conversation. They want to be having a conversation maybe about the very nice restaurant that they went to the other day, and have you been anywhere nice, and what the current trend is in clothing, and how will we match that to our nails and things like that. It's a little bit different. So you could profile your clients, just literally write a list of 3 types of clients, the types you want, where you're going to find them. It might be school mums. Okay, how are you going to get those school mums? You'll probably get those school mums if you start turning up at school. If you've not got kids, how are you going to turn up at school? Well, you can support school fairs, you can support raffle prizes, and that's very easy and something that I've done a lot of. So what about if you want those types of ladies who are ladies at lunch? How will you do that? Well, be seen in those areas. Just go to that pub for a drink. A couple of times people soon start, oh, that lady does so-and-so's nails. Oh, really? Okay, well, I'd like her to do my nails then. So just put yourselves in those positions where you'll network with those people, and very quickly you've got the profile of client you want in the area you want, hopefully.
And then, of course, once you've got that client in through the door, you need to provide a top quality service to retain them. What are your kind of tips and tricks for not just providing a good service, but an excellent service?
The thing that I hear in the salon, and I know I keep referring back to salon, but that's where I am at the minute. I think it all relates to freelancers as well. But the things I hear in the salon or have heard recently, keep in mind I have a full-time job. So if I'm in the salon, it's normally to wash towels or wash up. But doing that, I hear and see a lot. I heard recently someone say how friendly the salon was. I heard recently someone talking about another salon they'd been to where all that salon did was talk in a not very nice way about another member of staff that were there. I have worked for another brand in the past, or other brands in the past, and whilst I was there, I heard someone say, I'm so glad that you've got OPI back. I was going somewhere else. I've come back because I know you've got OPI. So I think having that trusted brand makes a huge difference for me, for customer retention, and also for them trusting us and having faith in the product we use. There are lots of people that love a great brand, aren't there? So if you're really visible with your branding, then that works very, very well for me. And then I think the really important things are the quality of the service. When you walk away from the salon, how do your nails look? Are there lumps and bumps in them? Are they dull? Does it chip quickly? Have you missed bits down? I can't bear, I'm so picky. I can't bear to have bits down the edge missed. And I'm sure other people are the same. So it's got to be a 10 out of 10 service. Lovely drinks if you're offering drinks. I know if you're going to someone's home, it'll probably be the other way around. They'll be offering you a drink, but have your retail available. Even if it's just a case of having a couple of oils in your case when you're out and about, make sure your retail's available and be easy to book in with. That's the other thing. There's nothing worse than making it complicated. Be responsive and make sure that people can book in.
This podcast is brought to you by us here at Solo. If you're a self-employed beauty pro, Solo is the booking app that helps you not only manage your appointments, but also build your brand. With Solo, you can create your own personalized booking website where clients can easily view your availability, read your reviews, and even pay deposits up front, giving them a seamless booking experience and saving you valuable time. With everything from consultation forms to marketing tools all in one place, growing your dream business has never been easier. If you haven't checked us out yet, why not start your free trial today? You mentioned brand, obviously from your perspective, working for OPI. How important have you found that brand has been? Have you found that consumers have been a lot more wary of what brands are being used on them than they were perhaps when you first started out?
I certainly think that there is a little bit more awareness with certain people. There are some people that just turn up and they don't even think about it, ask about it or anything. And I think there's a lot less awareness in nails than there has been in, say, skincare or hair care of brands. But recently we have obviously seen what some people call an allergy epidemic. We do talk about hygiene, things like that. So I think that people are getting a little bit more savvy about making sure that the place is clean. It's one of the things people say again about my salon. We come here because it's so clean. There's nothing worse than putting your hand in a grubby gel lamp that's got fingerprints all over it and splodges of gel. Who wants to do that? So for me, I think brand's very important and the brand message, but it's your brand really that's more important than that. I'm my own brand, and my own brand is that I use this brand because it's safe and I trust it, and they provide further education. And I use the term heritage brand a lot when I talk about OPI and many of its competitors as well. There are lots of great brands around that have been around 30 and 40 years that do their own R&D, that have fabulous education, that you can trust. And when I talk about a heritage brand, I think that really shouts to your customers because they're normally household names and they've heard of them before. And again, it's part of my own branding to use a trusted brand. So they appreciate that.
I know that you kind of mentioned before, making sure that you're using the same brand for your gel colour and your lamp.
It's really important to me, and it's something that I haven't always understood. I've had to educate myself on, and I would really appeal to anyone to please go and educate yourself on it. But when we are curing a gel product, it's so important that it goes in the lamp that it's been tested and designed to be used with. If you cure gel in a different lamp, it can look cured. It can actually, gel at 50% can look as if it's cured. So many people are thinking it's fine. It's fine. I don't need to use the OPI lamp with OPI gel because my gel looks cured. But in actual fact, it only looks cured, and we're not scientists and we don't have the machine to test if it's cured. And things we can see with uncured or part cured gel are that they'll start to peel and chip really quickly, so you're not getting that result the client would like and that client satisfaction. But the other thing you can see is a higher risk of allergy. Uncured gel is an allergen, and we now see many allergies popping up. One of the reasons that there's been so much awareness about allergies to gel, it's not a case of, it'll be all right in a little while or try it. It tends to get worse and worse every time you reapply gel. So I've had people come to me and say, can I just try your brand? no, because you've told me you've got an allergy to gel and I need you to go and get tested to see which ingredient it is you're allergic to. And I can't just try my brand on you because it will be worse still. Every reaction is going to get worse. It's such a big deal because the chemicals that they're allergic to are also present in your dental materials. So maybe fillings, crowns, hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder replacements, even down to contact lenses. So imagine you've got an allergic reaction to your gel that you maybe don't think to tell your hip surgeon. You get a hip replacement and you're having a constant allergic reaction to your hip replacement that's making you incredibly ill because unfortunately you've had uncured gel on for years. It has huge implications. So for us as pros, my message to everyone, whatever brand you use the right lamp. And if they can't recommend a lamp, there's something wrong.
How can people go and get tested for those allergies? I wouldn't know where to start.
It is difficult. Not every GP is open to this. So that would be the place I'd start. Go to your GP, get tested. Lots of nail techs present with allergies as well because we've only really started wearing gloves quite recently. Most nail techs have worked for years without gloves, and I would certainly make sure you're wearing gloves, but the right gloves if you're working with gel all the time. But start with your GP. Some GPs don't want to know, and you'll have to try and get tested privately. Otherwise, just keep chipping away at it, keep going back. I would say get the highest level of testing you can. I've had quite a few people come to me and say, I'm allergic to acrylates. That's a huge family. It's a massive family. We want it narrowed down. Which acrylate are you allergic to? There's been lots of talk about HEMA and allergies to HEMA, but it's not the only allergen that's used in nails. And of course, most of them are perfectly safe if used correctly. And this is why we say that gel is professional use only, because we don't want it on skin. We don't want it spilt. We need to know how to wipe the tacky layer off in a way that it doesn't go all over the skin. So yeah, get tested, find out which chemical the allergy is to. And then of course, for me, I just think, okay, let's use lacquer on that person. Let's keep safe. We've had a great result. 2 clients in the salon over the 30 years that I've been working. I've come across 2 allergies, and not actually to gel. Their allergies are very old existing allergies that they developed before they met me and were to acrylic nails. And I had great success using silk wraps or using a dipping system on them. They both still come in the salon and they both still have dip systems now. So you can give them some strength. There is something you can offer them, but of course you've got to determine what they're allergic to.
And yeah, again, it's finding those alternatives, and it's not a no, but I can use my expertise to recommend what you can do.
Absolutely. And there's great education out there. I use Nail Knowledge a huge amount. I love Nail Knowledge. And whenever I've got a question, you can normally find the answer on there. And many of my students, including people that don't believe me about using a matching lamp, go look on Nail Knowledge, go in the blog section. You can pay to actually do the Nail Knowledge course, but there's so much free information on there that I'd really recommend it to anybody. You can see, as I say, about the lamp. You can see about allergies. There's a little allergies course on there even.
On the subject of education, I know that many of our listeners do have, a roadmap to eventually become educators. What was that journey like for you? And, how would you recommend somebody kind of making a start into education?
For me, as a salon owner, I was actually naturally educating in the salon because I had apprentices and we were training anyway. I probably didn't realise just how much I was actually training, but it was very natural to me to be sharing my skills with other people. I did just see an advertising for educators and decided to apply. It was a very quick and easy a route to education for me. Went for the interview, got the job. In terms of qualification, I didn't have a teaching qualification at that time. And of course, that was very much next on my list. So I started one of the Petals courses, I think it was back then. What I would say is just start your teacher training, your AET, perhaps, whatever it may be for you. But think about where you want to end up. My daughter has just done her, I don't think it's called Cert Ed anymore, but the equivalent of what a Cert Ed would be. So a 2-year teaching course. And I'd really recommend that. The type of things you learn on that course. For example, if you wanted to land at a college, it'd be really vital, really important. And so much of it is about shadowing at college as well. And you do pick a lot up there. But then in her role, she does do some training for OPI. In her role for OPI now, she finds herself in colleges doing gel polish training. We do an enrichment day. And college tutors say to her, I can tell you've worked in college, you've got the crowd control. You can really pull them in, keep them engaged. So get as qualified as you can would always be my advice. Obviously, some of the smaller courses, they're only about 30 hours long. You can do them quite easily. Habia also do a teaching course, which I'd say, go for that. It needs to be a recognised course. You don't want to necessarily be doing something online with somebody that's not recognised. It does need to be off-qual recognised. So just start chipping away, and feel free to ask me if ever anyone's sure. I do quite often. Somebody will say, what do you think of this course? It's near me. Do you think it's good enough? But I think with anything, as we know, there are one-day courses in nails. We can be a nail professional in one day. Is that enough? Of course not. So just keep chipping away at it. Find the course that's going to give you the most of what you need. But also, if you've got to travel for 6 hours to get there and you're going every weekend, you're going to soon lose interest in that. It's got to also be practical.
We like to finish off our podcast with a fun quickfire round of questions. I'll fire away. What is a beauty product that you can't live without?
It's cuticle oil.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. It's got to be. Yeah. It makes me money by selling it. It keeps my nails hydrated. My cuticles look amazing. It makes life easier for my clients' infills. I can push the cuticles back. So yeah, oil all the way.
What is a beauty trend that you're loving right now?
I do love a dark nail, so I think it's very seasonal, isn't it? But I mean, I've only got one hand on, one hand off, but I do love a dark nail. So yeah, for me, it's all about that.
What is a beauty trend that you're not loving so much?
I love the developments in nail art and things. I just want them all to be safe. So I love that we're creative, and I love that we want to try things, but I want everyone to do it safely and with brands that are safe. There are products that sneak into the UK that the paperwork's not right and we just shouldn't be using. So yeah, stay safe. That's my thing.
Do you have a favourite podcast, book or creator for business inspiration?
So I don't put myself in a position where I'm just like, wow, they're amazing, and that's all I listen to. I like to listen and read and hear a lot. And my favourite way to hear it is actually at an exhibition. But if I were to listen to a podcast or were to take inspiration for someone or read something they were doing, couple of nail industry favourites, Sue Davies, who's been in the industry for years and years, got a very interesting podcast and business setup, and also Layla Tour. I love what they do and the advice they give, and the things about sizing up, and there are things in there that I think for me really resonate. I love, and it happens so rarely, I want to sit in a chair at an exhibition in front of the stage and watch every single person on it, because then I've heard 8 people's opinion that day. And for me, I might find a favourite out of them and go and see what else they've done, but that's what I really love.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would definitely tell my younger self to just perhaps step back and look at the bigger picture sometimes. Everything I've learned on the job, really, in terms of HR and management of the salon. And I will have absolutely made some mistakes, but I would say to just step back and also be a bit braver. I didn't start competing there are nail tech competitions at exhibitions and awards and things. I didn't start competing till I was in my 30s. And I was terrified of doing it, and I wish I'd have done it sooner and just been a bit braver, really, and taking those chances, but also really thought about giving myself the skills I needed rather than learning in the middle of it or teaching myself. So yeah, I think they would be the big things for me.
And what is one piece of advice or multiple pieces of advice that you'd give to others trying to grow their businesses?
I mean, obviously, step back and look at the big picture. That's the same again. Really educate yourself as much as you possibly can. I meet so many people that are, I've been doing this for years. I know everything I need to know. No, I'm learning every day. I learn something every day. I can go out and speak to a 16-year-old that's just started college that will teach me something. I can go out and speak to someone who doesn't do nails that teaches me something like, look at the bigger picture. Anyone can teach you that. So never stop learning and really embrace what people have to tell you and accept it and just be like a sponge, absorb it all in. It also makes you a much more interesting person for your clients to chat to as well, because they love the diversity that we can bring them in our conversation. So if we know lots of stuff, we can share that with them.
Well, that is a wonderful piece of advice to end on. Thank you so much, Belinda. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and so many fantastic bits of advice to our listeners. So really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, have a lovely day, and we'll chat soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favourite podcast app. If you like the episode, why not leave a review or share it with a beauty industry friend? And if you're curious about Solo, you can download it for free on the App Store or Google Play and take advantage of our free trial.